Hello and welcome to TPM's 4-Minute Friday. My name is Dan Warren and I'm an application engineer here at TPM. Today we're going to talk a little bit about scenes workflows, specifically the targetless registration workflow. Today we're going to talk about the basic placement methods that can be repeated over and over to create a final project point cloud from raw scan data. Ultimately we'll be using the targetless registration workflows for this video. So I've already imported all of our project scans and I've already run a pre-process to remove any dark or stray points, and now we're ready to actually start working on the scan files. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open one of these and I'm just going to review it quickly. This is more of an orientation exercise than anything else. I'm just checking the photos to see where I am in the site. So once I know where this scan is in relation to the rest of the site, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out and I'm going to open up what's called a 3D view. And this can be done by simply right-clicking on the scan name and then going to View, 3D View. And this will open up the default 3D view, which is from the point of the scanner. And now what I'm actually looking at are the individual scan points that have been recorded by the scanner. Now I'm going to take a top-down look at this and you can see that I've got a lot of extraneous data over here on the far left and we need to filter that out. We're going to do that by using the distance-based filter tool under Operations, Filter, Distance-Based. And we're going to set our distances and remove any scan points that are further than 30 feet away from the scanner. So once this has been applied, clicking on the top-down view button will bring me into the extent of my view, and now I got a much cleaner point collection that I can start working with. And then I'm going to change my view to orthographic, and I'm going to continue cleaning out my points by selecting them, deleting them, and filtering them out. And this is what we're going to do for all of our different raw scans so that we have just the points we want to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward to where we actually begin placing our scans. So now I have a second scan, I'm ready to tie them together. So I'm going to create a new cluster by right-clicking, New, Cluster, and I'm going to name my cluster. And remember, names can't have spaces in them, so I use underscores. And once I've created my cluster, I drag my two scans into that cluster, and this is how I set the relationship. So now I'm going to view these with a correspondence view. Now that I'm looking at these in a correspondence view, what I do is I pick one and I'm going to set the relationship between the two scans. I don't have to be super precise, I'm just trying to get them sort of relatively placed. I'm going to set them from a top-down view, and then once I have them set here, I'm going to switch to a side view and make sure that my elevations are relatively correct. Once I get my scans relatively placed, I'm ready to start my place process. So I right-click and I go to Operations, Registration, Place Scans. And from here I'm going to use a top view based placement method. And this will use the top view to place the two scans. So I'm going to make a few adjustments to our subsampling size and our reliability. And then I will go ahead and click OK. This places the scans. And in a few moments we'll have the results of the placement. So once I have my scan, the little green lights tell me I'm good. So I'm going to check the results and see where our tensions are. Looks like these could be reduced a little bit more. And I'm going to do that by initiating an update to the scan manager and do an actual cloud-to-cloud registration. In this window, we need to make sure that we set our maximum search distance much smaller. Somewhere closer to 3 feet is more appropriate. Otherwise, it will bog down our computer substantially and it will slow down the registration process. But once we get this set, we can go ahead and click OK, and the computer will start placing the scans. Once they've placed, we've got a chance to review our results, and we can see that our tensions have gotten much tighter. So this is a great cluster for us to use. And this process is iterative, so we're going to repeat this over and over again by top placing and then using the cloud-based placement methods to really tighten our scans together. And that kind of covers it for the basics of scan placement, especially the targetless registration. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and we'll be sure to respond. And my name is Dan Warren, and I thank you for joining me for TPM's 4 Minute Fridays. Have a great day.